Let's go to Richmond. He has won the smack off. Jeff from Richmond. Merry Christmas, Jeff. What's up?
Jim, thanks for the vine, and thanks for the time, and Merry Christmas to you and yours, Jim. Jim, if you'll indulge me for a brief moment, Jim, I want to remind you, I want to remind all the CBS suits, I want to remind, Jim, the XR4 TI crew, but most importantly, Jim, I want to remind the morally bankrupt clones, Jim, that for 20-plus years, Jim, I've issued you a guarantee, an ironclad guarantee, Jim, and that is this, Jim. Anytime you see the dirtiest player in the game, Jim, Jeff from Richmond on the marquee, anytime you see Jim rolling behind you, the best photo montage, Jim, not only in the history of sports, but in the history of entertainment, at that moment, Jim, you all know collectively, Jim, that business is about to pick up. Jim, I've never mentioned this to you before, but Jeff from Richmond has an elite wrestling and martial arts background. And, Jim, when you're a member of the black belt fraternity, when you're a member of a group of individuals, Jim, who not only start something, but more importantly, we finish what we start, that means something, Jim. The bottom line is this. If you need analysis, Jim, on the upcoming UFC lightweight championship fight, Jim, featuring Habib the Eagle Nurmagomedov versus number one contender, Jim, Terry Ferguson, I can give you that. If you need analysis, Jim, on the new UFC welterweight king, Jim, Khamir, the Nightmare, Anderson, I've got that for you too, Jim. And, Jim, the new face of the UFC, I've got analysis on him, Jim, Street Jesus, Jorge, Gamebred, Matthews. I got your back on that, Jim. The bottom line is this. For cutting-edge UFC analysis and some smack, Jim, you need look no further, Jim, than the great Commonwealth of Virginia, the 804, Jim. We are your hookup, Jim. Holler if you hear me. Very quickly, Jim, how can I respect this steaming pile of humanity, Jim, which are the newbie clones and the 2.0s, the millennials? These individuals can't even write a grammatically correct sentence, Jim, much less articulate one. I know clones, I know OMG, LOL, BRB, WTF. Hey, losers, it's called the English language. Look into it, and I know all you losers, each and every night you're swilling your liquor and your beer, you're twisting up fatties and cones by the dozen, you're staying out till 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning at your rave parties, talking bad about your country and your president, and you're experimenting clones with Molly and X and crystal meth and various other press pills. But most importantly, clones, you're really getting over with your medical marijuana cards. I know, clones, I know you suffer from deep bouts of depression and anxiety. You like to get sky high on the cabbage 6 and 7 hours a day. Bottom line, clones, clean up your act in 2020. Follow the lead and the example, clones, of the best there is, the best there was, and the best that there ever will be. And the one question I have to ask you, clones, is this. Who wants to walk with Jeff from Richmond? Jim, thank you for your time. Aloha means goodbye. War Commonwealth of Virginia. War number 45, Donald from Manhattan. War Logan Rome, having the brass stones to ask the old man for a shot at the Hall of Fame after party. War John from New York, continuing to promote Rome by saying things like, Jim, such great interviews, Jim, the most awesomest interviews I've ever heard. War Mr. Automatic J. Stu, without the nicks and cuts of a blade. And until next time, Jim, and next year, Jim.
Good night now! Jeff in Richmond, still the dirtiest player in the game. Rack him. I mean, did a smack-off breakout, nobody told me. That's what I'm talking about. What are your thoughts on that? Is that your favorite guy, or do you hate that guy? He's always one of the more polarizing callers on the program. He still's got heat, though. A lot of you like to call up and say, yeah, great call, Jeff. You made it 25 years ago. It's not the case. That's strong. I like it. Especially his takes on Terry Ferguson and Jorge Matthews.